Today we are doing this gingerbread design for Christmas using everything from my shop at Tino shop. I'm Tino and welcome to our online nail art class. Okay, so first I'm gonna tell you a little bit about this design and how I'm gonna teach you, because usually I would demonstrate one finger or two fingers and I would deal with design like this where I use technique. And technique, all I have to do is show you one finger and you know how to do the rest. Like this, just one finger, you know how to do the rest. Just like that. But these are not technique. I mean, there is some embossed technique in there, but these are drawing. So when it comes to drawing and painting, I gotta show you most of it. And how I'm going to do that and make it a little less boring is that I am going to do all at once. So that is how I do it for my customer in salon. When I'm in salon and doing a nail set, I don't just do one nail, be done with it, and then do another nail, be done with it, and then the next nail. I'm doing it all at once. So that's gonna make it fun and exciting for us. It's a new way of teaching for people that wonder how I'm taking an intricate set and do it on my client with appropriate timing. Is we doing each step one by one all at once. First, I am going to use blush gels. So you see in this foundation, you see how beautiful is this foundation right here. This is blush gel that are matted. And blush gel and shading gel are perfect for French tips. I'm gonna apply it all over the nail. When it's shiny, it's pretty and light. But when it's matte, oh, it's amazing. Cure this, 60-second cure. And I am going to take these out. I have 4 nails. Plus, that other one is 5. So I have 5 nails. Now, we're not gonna mat this yet. We're gonna draw first and then mat. There's no reason to mat it now. So I can spot out 2 nude color. You need to nail that down immediately. And you need to check the other finger to see if there are any nude. You need to add it now. I'm using nude 1-stroke liner to paint. And first, I am going to use the 7mm detail to paint out the silhouette. Show you how I load the brush pretty quick. Twirling it from side to side so the gel can pack into your brush. And when it's fully loaded, you stroke it out to make the brush slimmer. Okay, we are ready to paint. So I am painting the gingerbread man first. I gotta make sure that there's enough space for the hat. There's enough space for the head and then the body. Plan it out just a little bit. Okay. I'm trying my best to draw a circle shape. Since this is a silhouette, I don't have to be as meticulous when I draw. When I draw a circle frame, I will spend more time to perfect it. Oh, I couldn't help it. I couldn't help perfecting it. Maybe because you guys are watching me, so I couldn't help making it perfect. Okay, now I am going to paint out the legs. So let's establish where it's end. It's gonna end right here. These are not a V, upside down V shape. It's slightly curved. And then this is a standing out like a slant. It will look a little funny at first, but it can get better when the hand is in. Like that. Okay, and then you want to color everything in. So I'm gonna switch to emboss brush. Doing the same thing, loading. I'll show you again, loading. See the hair? It's when it's spread out, the gel can go in it, and then you stroke it out to make the brush slimmer. Then you're gonna draw, just like this. Okay, I'm gonna paint all over this. And if you can stroke from top to bottom, do that, because that is the way up, how that stroke go is make everything smooth. See, you can twirl around like this, but the more effective stroke is like that. From top to bottom, from top to bottom, it's like that. This is fine if you're stroking out. Now, stroking sideways on the nail are not as effective because the nail is curved this way. This way is easier, it's less curved that way, so you can reach a straight line. So you can make a straight line. Just like that. And I choose one stroke liner because of the colors. It's nude and beautiful. If I have nude in art gel, I will use it because art gel is way smoother than one stroke liner. It's not like one stroke liner is not smooth. You should have to be strategic with your stroke. And then go ahead and clear this. So the next nail that I am gonna do will be the gingerbread house. Now I'm still using the embossed brush just because the shapes are simple. On the other nails, I am starting out with a detail brush because I want the silhouette to be nice. Because it's involved curve and the arm and the leg is all proportion. But the gingerbread house, it's just a simple shape. So I'm using the same brush because of that. You can still using the 7mm detail to sketch out your frame if you want. But if you already holding the embossed brush and you don't want to switch brush, you can just use it. Just like that. And then make out a dot right here and slant it down. Okay, now you color it in. I know it's not completely symmetrical, but it's a little crooked. But I like to color it in before I can see what I can go in and fix. Okay, it's decent. It's decent, but I think that I'm still gonna use a 7mm to detail it out. So I hope you guys can see the importance of this process right here. See, it's smaller and it's thinner, and it just helps you finesse all these edges. See that it's much better, much sharper. So sometimes you might think that not switching brush is saving time, but in the long run, maybe it's not. Just because if you obsessed with perfection, you're gonna spend more time making it perfect. And this brush right here is easier for you to make it perfect. Kiss it for 60 seconds. And then this is out. Of course, all the detail is smooth. Sometimes after you using one stroke liner to paint, if there is some spot that it look like it's not smooth, don't try to like make it perfect. When you put in the light, it's when it's clear, the curing process somehow smooth it out. See, all smooth. Now, I am going to do the next step. Okay, I'm gonna place the gingerbread right here. Okay, let me look at this. So I see red and pink, of course, and I gotta analyze which one to use first. So on this nail, obviously it's pink first, because I can see red being on it. On this nail, pink. On this nail, pink and red at the same time, but I'm gonna choose pink first. This nail, pink will be on top of red. So pink, 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 red, red. Okay. If you're a press-on artist, it's important to put the nail right where it is. This one here, just so you don't get confused. Now, pink. I'm using light pink one stroke liner. Look how pretty the color is. I'll show you how I clean my brush. Wipe off the color, wipe off the color. Clean. Wipe off the oil. Clean. Wipe off the oil. This oil will clean your brush and condition it at the same time. And the oil is safe for all gel products. Alright, let's paint the pink. Put it right here so you know. Now for the gloves, obviously I'm gonna use a detailer. For the hat, yeah, detailer. For the how, I don't need to use a detailer, but I will too, just because I learned my lesson on the gingerbread how. It's always important to detail first, just because your silhouette and perimeter of the design is just gonna be prettier. So for the glove, up here one curve. Start right here. Going one curve. Curve up here. For this is a mitten, not a glove, sorry. Okay, this right here. Curve. Curve. This might be simple, but for some people, they can struggle with it just because the shape of the proportion. So basically, this bottom curve right here is just a base of the mitten. And then you want to jump up here because that's where, this is where the hand is. You don't want to start below this. You want to start right here. So this is where all the finger is. This is the top of it. And you just curve down. And then this is the top of it. You curve down and then you go straight in. And then this, you just do a small miniature version of it. You start right here. This is where the top is. And then you curve down. And then you curve down. They are like mini teardrop. And then since it's small, I'm just going to use a detail brush to fill it in too, just because the spacing. If the spacing is any bigger, it'll be wiser for you to switch brush. Detail brush to paint like this is slightly easier than bigger brush because bigger brush you have to use light pressure so you don't see the strict mark. But detail brush, it doesn't give any strict mark on that because it's nice and thin. So the pressure doesn't really affect the filling. But if you have bigger space, you have to switch to a bigger brush to make it faster for you. Hear this? Now the house, very easy. Okay, curve, curve the other way, curve the other way, curve. Curve, curve. So it's like a wiggly line. And then when you go on here, I decide to go straight. You don't have to. You can also do a wiggly line up here. If you like, it's just up to your styles. Okay. And since the space is super small, I am going to paint over too. Make sure you don't want to paint too thick. This bottom here is going to be a little thick. So I'm going to use that amount to drag it out. Like my own nail art palette right here. Just because these gels are super opaque, so it's used for painting that are nice and thin. Because when you draw something nice and thin, you need it to be opaque to see the colors. Therefore, don't do it thick because you want it to cure properly. There you go. You cure this. How can you tell is when it dries, you can pinch it with your fingernail to see if it's squiggly, then it's not curing properly. But if it's solid, then perfect. Move on to the next. Okay. This one right here, curve. Oh, I gotta tell you this. Now, normally you would curve like this, right? It's actually wrong. Because you gotta consider the red gonna be right here. So, I'm so glad I made that mistake so you can see it. I'm going to wipe it off gently with a paper towel. There you go. And go in. Now give it some space, like right here. See that? And then the top of the hat is right here. I'm not afraid to make mistake in front of you. I know you're not going to make fun of me. Okay. Color it in. So all these spacing are small, so I'm just going to use the same brush to color it in. See, everything I teach, some of it are rules, some of it are just advice, because you can always break the rules. See, now I'm going to draw the hat. The scarf, sorry. The scarf. Okay, one here. One more down here. You want to go out a little bit so you can see the difference between the scarf and the body of the gingerbread man. See, you go out like this. See, you go a little bit out, and then you make like a bump right here, so people can tell. See that? That's gonna add depth to it. Sometimes people skip that part. Just another healthy thing for drawing. It's a dimension like this. I can go out like that, just so people know that it's a scarf hanging on the gingerbread man. It's isolate these two details, the gingerbread man and what on the gingerbread man is isolated. So now you can see that it's a scarf. I don't even put the detail on yet, but you can tell. Then here this. Now it's time to take red out. So this is red one stroke liners. I'm gonna take it out. Sometimes if you don't use your gel for a while, it's good to give it a good stir, you guys. Okay, now the heart shape are not tiny, it's big. So instead of 7mm detail, I'm using a 10mm liners instead. You want to draw a heart silhouette. You can go in and draw if you get used to it, but for beginner, let's just do one straight line. It don't have to be straight. I almost to say it don't have to be straight like me, but that will be a wrong thing to say. Okay, now straight in the bottom, just like this, and then V shape. So mark the center. This is center. Then a V shape. Okay, and then from here, you can paint it in just so you're able to see better if you want to. Just like that. And then this right here, another V shape. I know that it's a lot of work, or seem like to be a lot of work, for those of us that know how to draw. But I'm telling you, for people that don't know how to draw, this is not a lot of work. Because some people couldn't even draw a heart shape to save their life. It doesn't matter how much they try. So this is a way where they can make it work for them. And of course, until this day, sometimes if I want the design to be super perfect, I'm still using this strategy. Just whenever I want to make everything super even, symmetrical, I do that. Okay, now. For press-on audit, you can do the hand like this, but for people who do nail, there's a client cuticle. So it's best if you just draw on a line near the cuticle. Okay. If you want to be precise, you can use a liner or a detailer to just go near the cuticle just to make sure that it's nice and neat. I do that all the time on my client. I make sure the cuticle is taken care of, and then I just stroke everything down. So stroke everything down. See, it's important for you to have gel near the edge. If not, you can add more gel in. So when you draw it down, you don't have to be careful. The reason why I painted it down instead of going crazy is that when you stroke it down, it's always smooth. Very smooth. So again, near the edge, you want to add some gel first. so you don't have to be careful watching out for the edge. And then paint it down. Same thing on the other nail. Cure this 60 seconds. Okay, let's take out the other nails. And this is a French tip, your favorite. Mark the center and the baseline. Now you curve. So use 10mm liner for a regular French. For a deep French, use 20mm liner. From here, this is the way I'm gonna drag it. Okay, but first I need to turn it this way. Going out. And then drag it down. You see the way my angle is? Okay. Same thing here. Play your nail like this. You know, you're gonna end up dragging it this way, but you have to place it like this so you can go out and then you can drag it up like this. Out. Bam. Okay. Emboss brush. Just like this. And down. Okay, cure this. And after this, you gotta check everything else just to make sure that you don't miss out on any red. That is how you work on your client. You don't wanna go back. Of course, if you have to, then you will, but try to get all one color done at the same time. I know you'll be excited for me to teach like this. I don't teach like this often. Most design I do in the entire nail, just so I don't confuse you. But for painting, if I do one entire nail and then I move on and do this entire nail, it's gonna be pretty boring. But it's exciting for me to just do it all at once like this for you. Plus, it's a video format, so you can always rewatch. I don't use a dotting tool for this. I use the emboss brush because it's a gel paint. So dotting tool, it can make it very thick, and you don't want it to be thick. So a U brush. And you can wipe your brush clean and go in and you can scoop up extra gel paint. There. Don't forget this knitters. It's all experience that you're gonna gain as a drawer and painter. Go ahead and cure this. Now I am going in for this step. I'm using the 7mm detail to paint the door. So from here, I am going out and down. Your eye are not up here. Your eye are down here because the silhouette of the door have to be perfect. Let me show you what I mean, because I think that is a little confusing. So if your eye are not up here, if your eye are down here, meaning this, meaning you do a curve, all you care is the sharpness of this angle. This angle can be like that, as long as this angle is sharp. That means your eye are down here, not up here. Because up here you have to draw more and then color in, so you don't care about that. And when you draw in this part, then your eye have to be up here. So this angle can be sharp because whatever in here, you're gonna feel it in. If that make any sense. Now I am going to go back and do another line. This is a door frame. See, now I'm keeping my eye above this part. Even though this is a pretty polished design, it's also beginner friendly. The way I teach it will be beginner friendly. Okay, then I am going to go up here because I know there is candy cane up here. I mean peppermint, sorry, not candy cane. And I'm drawing it into right at the roof. There is a few peppermint going on here. One more right here. And one more over here. And right here. Okay, clear this, please. Now I have left is the mitten. So I am going to draw a band right at the base for my mitten. Do it a little thicker because later you're gonna do emboss design on it. Okay, and I have a string going across it like this, but it's embossed, so I'm gonna save it for later. Okay, check. I think I'm done with everything, so I'm gonna clear this. Now, when it comes to this detail, where I use it to shade, to outline the scarf, anything that are pink, it's actually not red, it is pink one-stroke liners. This one right here. So I'm gonna use it to draw lines. So when it comes to line, you need 10mm liners. Taking these out. Okay, let's do the glove first. So I'm taking pink, loading it. And from here, curving in. It might not seem visible in the background where the blush is, but it will become visible whenever you put on matte. So take this step semi-seriously. And of course, when you do it now for your client, you can obviously skip this part. It's just a little extra. It doesn't make much of a difference. But when you practice, also doing this step to practice your line work skill. The more you practice, the better. Hear this? And I am going to outline the bottom of the gingerbread house. Hear this? And doing this too. Slightly curve. Slightly curve. Slightly curve the opposite way. And curve here. And then the scarf. I need one line across. Another line here. With this line, I accidentally do it a little thick. Want to point that out so you can see what to avoid. Touch lightly. Like that. This one is perfect. This one, you can see that it's a little out of line right here. And whenever that happens, I go in one more just to cover that light pink that popping out behind it. There. Okay, this 60 seconds. Now Not done with line yet. I'm still having to take brown out. Okay, and put all this detail in. Okay, brown is for outlining the nude. Okay, I'm gonna do the house first. Okay, down here where the nude is, so I use pink to outline the light pink and brown to outline the nude. All the outline is unnecessary detail. It just makes the design a little more beautiful if you plan to jot extra. And of course, you always should plan to jot extra for all that hard work. Just like this. Okay, the other side, curve. Okay, here. Now I'm taking out shade gels. So, shade is for shading. I have it made for a skin tone color, so you can shade. And the brush that I am going to use will be an emboss brush. Or a coloring brush will do too. Actually, a coloring brush might be better. Okay, so I'm gonna go up here. Now, shadowing or shading, you just follow the easy concept. Since the pink is on top of the house, the shadow will be underneath it. It's wherever the shadow is supposed to cast. See that? So you imagine the light source is up here, shining down, shadow right here. And you probably want to do the door a little bit to make it pretty. And maybe the bottom of it. It's not supposed to be there, but you can use your imagination. And I forgot one thing. See, I forgot the brown one-stroke liner on the door. So this is my chance. I still have the brown one-stroke liner open, so that's good. See, that what I don't like is I like to close my bottle whenever I'm done with it. Like the light pink, I closed the bottle a long time ago. And same with the nude and the red. I have to pour it out later, but that is for a different method. That is for emboss. So I like to close it just when I'm done with it for this part. And that's what I hate is to pour it out and open the bottle. Because it's going to waste a few seconds. So that's why I try to do all the color at once. Cue this. And now we're gonna shade the gingerbread man. Same thing. Shading right underneath the hat first. And I want a little bit of shadow right here. I'm kind of a rule breaker when it comes to shadow. Whenever I see it's pretty, I'm adding it in. After all, it's nail art. It can be more creative, even with the shadow. Okay, so that's this. It's not necessary for you to do the shading, and a lot of people don't take it seriously because they don't see the color very well, but it's shading. So it's just gonna make this more realistic, more pop. It's give it dimension. And it's very important to have dimension to make sure that the design is luxurious looking. The last thing that I need will be black one-stroke liner for all the eyes. So I am using the coloring brush or emboss brush. I'm going in and I'm gonna paint it. The eye first. So a circle. Okay, I think emboss brush might be better for the circle because coloring brush only have the thickness, but emboss brush have thickness and the point. Switch 7mm details. On my client hand, I wouldn't switch. I would do the eye on the other finger before I switch brush. But on press on, I switch just because I have to pick up the other nails. So it's wiser for me to switch when I'm holding this nail. But your client, her finger is intact, stick into her hand. So that's why it's easier for on client to just keep the same brush and switch at the same time. Okay, and if you want, you can add some eyelashes if it's a girl. See, now it's become a girl. Okay, I'm using the embossed brush for this eye right here. Oh yeah, easier. It have the thickness, but it have a point where I need to go like that and like that just to make sure the eye is perfect circle. It is important to use something that have a point also, like a pointy end. Anything that have a pointy end is meant for lines. And embossed brush is meant for thick line. This is a 7mm detail for tiny details. Add eyelash in. I don't have eyelash on my original set, but I'm teaching you. I want to add a little eyelash to make it curves. And then smile. Here this. Now I'm adding in white one chalk liner for the reflection of the eye, very tiny details. I'm using the 7mm detail. Here this. And now I am adding detail right here on the eyes. Here this. Now when it comes to embossed details, okay, so these are symbols, all of these are simple. You don't have to pre-draw it. However, right here where it's on like the candy cane door frame, you want to draw first because these are exact details. So if you don't draw first, it will hard for you to draw embossed later because embossed gonna be a little thicker. Same with the heart. So I'm gonna draw in the heart and the candy cane pattern on the gingerbread house and the peppermint too. Do it all. So later on, when you emboss, it'll be easier for you. Okay. Okay, again. Right here, I'm twisting it. Okay. Fill it in. And then these. And then there is a few minor things that I gotta fix before I put it into the machine. Okay. Peppermint patterns. I actually need to take the brush and just clean it. Just like that. Okay. Now, 7mm detail. I am gonna go in for the peppermint patterns. Marking out my center will be a white choice. Draw it in. Depending on what type of artist you are. If you're a perfectionist, then take time like me. If not, you can just be a little sloppy. One more here. Mark my center. Okay. Now you notice I don't talk. I don't talk because I have to adjust my breathing. The more detailed it is, the more you have to adjust your breathing. So it doesn't interfere with, because every single movement will mess it up. Okay. Okay. Another one here. There. Another one. Again. Okay, clear this. 60 seconds. And if you want, you can add a little icing for the gingerbread man. Okay, these two. And on the hand. Okay, clear this. And the heart, the white heart. For the gloves, for the mitten. One teardrop here. Another teardrop right here. Same thing here, one teardrop here. Before I draw the heart around the heart. Right now I'm drawing inside the heart. So strategy is different. I'm using teardrop. Back in the day when I don't know how to draw a heart, I just look at it as two little teardrop put together. And this one is out. Okay, double checks. I have glacier, but I can do that later. Okay, house, gingerbread man, check, everything checks. This, okay. So I'm ready to matte top coat everything. So this is matte that I will be using on all of them. Okay, clear this. This one come out. Also apply matte on it too. Make sure you double check first to see if there are any detail that are not embossed that you need to add on. Clear this. Now this. I love it when I apply top coat because it's so nice and clean and smooth. Here. This. Look how cute the gingerbread man is. Oh, gingerbread woman. It's a female, I forgot. Or undecided, it doesn't matter. Okay, clear this. You will know now today. The gingerbread man might be, what they call it, non-binary. Okay. Might be a little more special than the rest of us human. Clear this. Okay, so now what we need next is 3D jelly. So what I'm gonna do is I am gonna draw this detail. I'm gonna put acrylic on it. With one stroke liner, it's impossible to do that. because one stroke liner is a painting gel and it's an opaque painting gel. So you don't pour stuff on it. Nothing gonna soak into it. What happens is if you take a thick gel, or not a thick gel, but a opaque gel, and you draw and then you pour acrylic on it, it's only lay on the top. And then the inside is still wet and they're gonna chip on you. So you need to turn this into a more suitable gel for emboss. And the color that I would need for emboss would be white, red, and pink. Get our paper towels. Red, right at the edge. Wipe it off. Pink, right at the edge. Wipe it off. White. Actually, don't put them too close together. There, wipe it off. Now, you're gonna take our 3D jelly. 3D jelly is cell level. I need a new bottle. I like to cut it like this now. I like to use the edge. Okay, I'm gonna take this. So you can scoop it out. There. I think it's gonna make your gel a lot more neater, since it's not gonna spill out and everything like that. It's gonna just be right in the middle. And I can make a bottle already like this with a sticker right here, so you can just peel it off and use it like this, so you don't have to cut it like this, but it's gonna raise more of the cost. And I wanna keep it affordable for you guys. I want you guys to have quality product, but affordable product. Cause I'm rooting for beginners, and most beginners, they need the product to be affordable, but good product, not cheap product and unquality product where it will waste more of your time. It will cripple you when you use the same unquality product for years and years. It will cripple your skill. Okay, just like this. Mix it in. White. Okay, mix it in. I only mix a little bit of this pile that I put out. I only mix a little bit just because you only need a little bit of gel. This is very opaque. Yeah, you only need a little bit. Cause too much one stroke liner, you have to put more 3D jelly to compensate it. You don't want it to be you want a little more 3D jelly, like 60% of 3D jelly and 40% of gel. One stroke liner gels. So I'm gonna put 3D jelly right here, and I am going to take it out. This is what it look like, nice and smooth with a little volume. These are all my gel. All my nail. I'm gonna take it out, and let's start with gingerbread. Even though the detail is thick, and I should use the embossed brush, I'm not. I'm gonna use a 7mm detail first. It's always the safest when it comes to emboss or close together. I don't want anything to blend. This is a semi-precise work. I'm filling it in. Of course, I already have pink in the background, so I don't have to completely cover the perimeter of each spot. I can just leave a little extra space, because the background is already pink, so you're not gonna see any imperfection. While you're at it, let's go ahead and do the sculpt too. Remember that you're working with 3D jelly. And 3D jelly is cell level. So you don't want to work for too long, especially if you draw really thick. If you want to give yourself a little extra time, then draw a little thinner. But a little thicker, it might collapse and blend. So you don't want to work too long. So if you cannot draw both of these at the same time, then just draw the hat first. And then go in with the sculpt after you completely saturate acrylic on the gels. But I'm pretty fast, so I'm just gonna go in with all the color. Plus, the top coat that you use are matted, and matted are velvet. And velvet means that if you don't wipe it with acetone first, then it's going to shrink on you. The gel is gonna shrink on you. Like if you have velvet clothing and you drop like water on it, the water doesn't soak into the clothing. It just shrink and become little droplets of water that lay on top of your velvet. If you have velvet jacket or velvet shoe, you most likely will see if you drop water on, it end up become little droplet because the surface are velvet. Same with the top coat. So a velvet surface are staticky, and so gel might shrink on it. And it doesn't mean that it's not gonna cure well. It's gonna cure very well, but it gonna shrink in just because it don't absorb to the surface as well when you wipe it with acetone. But you notice that I don't wipe it. I don't wipe it because at this with this technique, that ability actually served in my favor, because guess what happened if it shrink? This means that it doesn't spread. And when it comes to design that are close together like this, it's perfect. Yes, I don't want it to spread. I want it to shrink, so it doesn't touch each other. So that ability is perfect for this. And that little thing right there is happened to anything that are velvet. It's just something about the surface of velvet that when gel go on it, it shrink on the edge and it's kind of make it smoother on the edge. So look at that, done with everything. You wanna take out clear acrylic powders? You can use any brand of clear acrylic that don't even have to be good or expensive. It can just be a cheap acrylic because you're not putting it with monomer. You just use the powder to set the gel so it can become 3D. Now, one thing is you pour it in. It have to be clear though. Don't use color acrylic. Clear acrylic will help it cure really efficient. Now, you pour it on, but don't just cure this. You gotta make sure that it soak into the gel, and the gel going to become shiny. See this spot right here? See how it becomes shiny? See that? That means the acrylic is soaked into the bottom, and now the top is wet again. You're gonna pour on it again. Because if not, then the bottom is wet when you cure it and the top is solid and it might burst or chip on your client. So you want to make sure it's completely packed with acrylic. And when it does, it's going to last forever. And if it stays wet for too long, then it might blend with the other spots. So you want to keep adding acrylic on this. Okay, let me see. Everything seems to be good. Good. And I can use the brush to separate it, because it's semi-solid. It's semi-solid, so of course you can separate your gel to show texture. See there, I can use the brush to separate it, like cutting it. Isn't that awesome? Oh, the thing you need to know for emboss. Swear to emboss. And whenever you know that it completely dry, that is when you can take a fluffy like this and dust it without smearing it. If you smear your design, that means it don't have enough acrylic in it. Now, even though I just dusted it and it's amazing, I'm gonna keep pulling it. But this time, I'm gonna let it stay there and move on to the next one. Okay, so I need white to do emboss. See, you don't have to be detailed. You already have white in the background. That's why I draw it first. Because I know this step is impossible to make it like super fine and sharp cut and perfect. Because this part, it needs to be thick. So it needs to be, the gel needs to be at a certain consistency. And this consistency, you cannot really be too detailed. So I drew first. Now, it's so easy for me now. If I don't draw it first, this step, it will be an absolute challenge and the design not gonna be that pretty. But now this design gonna be very, very pretty because I already prepared for it. And I need to draw glacier. So just a thin little line right across and drag it down, drag this down, connect this right here just a little bit and a lot here. Don't look at the white, look at the background to make sure that all the edge is smoothing out. Just like that. Now you're gonna put acrylic on this just like before. Put all this now up here. Okay, stop. Revisit these fingers. See, if you don't spot any more wetness, that means that it's pretty packed. But the reason why I leave this finger here, just so when I work with this finger, I can start time. It's important that you have more than just one finger. That way, when you can pour and you don't have to wait on it, you can work on the next finger. Okay. And let's go ahead and do the glove last. Let's do this nails. So I need a frame. Make sure that it's pretty. Just a simple line. That's why I don't need to draw ahead of time. Course, you never know. Sometimes there's things that look simple, but not really simple, like a French tips. Okay. This side. Okay, now pour it on it. The reason why I add a snowflake right here because I have a little boo-boo. I have a little color on it and I already top coated. So there's no way for me to remove it. So I put a little snowflake to cover it up. Okay, just like this. And then I'm gonna go ahead and frame this one too. I think I need a bigger brush, 10mm liner. You know, that part was a little difficult and I didn't know why until now. I was using a 7mm details. Doesn't mean you can't. It's just difficult. Easier if you use appropriate brush for appropriate lines. On the gingerbread man and the gingerbread house, I can use 7mm detail because they are short lines. So if I use a 10, it will be difficult. But now for this line, I gotta use 10mm liners. Just like this. Okay. Okay. Pour on acrylic. Revisit this. See, it's already wet. Put on. This wet again. See, that's how convenient. It's very convenient when you do more than one fingers. See? Pack in. Go back to here. It's wet again. Pour it in again. Not a lot of people know this about sweater technique. They will just pour a little bit of acrylic and cure it. It's not gonna work like that. Put it in. Put this in again. Let me see this. Okay, this can be in the machine. I don't see any more wetness coming from it. So send it into the machine. Okay, make sure I completely dust it. So the color is rich and it's not ashy. The reason why I dust it, because if you don't, then extra acrylic gonna stick on top the color and make it ashy. You can see how rich the color is. You can kill it now. And then pour this right here, just because it's wet again. Okay, this one is semi-dry. I need one more pour. One more pour before I dust this. And continue with my drawing. So, pink first. Pink up here. And little pink down here. Just like this. And then draw in a little detail for it. There's no rules or anything. I'm just doodling. Okay, one line down, another line down. Go slanted, go straight down. Slanted, go straight down. Straight, slant, straight. 1, 2, 1, 2. Fill this in. Fill this in. And fill this in. Same with this side. Fill it in. Okay. Here this. With acrylic on this. Oh, before you do, if you want to pop in the red too, you can do it right now. I feel blessed that the mat in the bottom is velvet because that just prevents these from blending in together. Just like this. And then this one too. Oof, I have a little red on the white, but that's fine. Some more line here. It's okay if your line is a little further apart because you use certain thickness to draw these. So when acrylic on it, it will slowly collapse and get really close to each other's. When you draw, you don't need to draw them close to each other's, but when you put acrylic on, it will slowly spread out. And I need to pour on some acrylic right here. It get wet again. Okay. And of course, continue to pour this. Just like this. Okay. And then continue to pour on these. Okay. I love multiple fingers when I work with. Okay. A little more on here before you let it rest, because when you just put it on, when you just pour the acrylic on, if you leave it right away, it will get wet and then it will blend into each other's. So you don't want it to be like that. You want to make sure you keep pulling it until it's semi-solid, and then you can just let it rest. And then this, you're ready for some more detail on this. Dust it off. And I'm painting one straight line with pink. And I'm painting another straight line over here. Just like this. And then I also will do a pink heart. A teardrop. I like heart. It's like my signature. I like heart. Okay. And then I need red. I'm gonna switch to the 7mm. So it's easier for me on this one. Let me look at this. Okay, I need to pour it on one more time. Sometimes you need to check on the others just to make sure that it's not getting wet and then it's going crazy. Okay. I'm adding one right here. One right here. One here. One here. Oh. I accidentally touched the pink, so I have to hurry up and pour acrylic powder on it before it starts to become blendy. Pour acrylic powder on it now. Then I can separate it. There. I was in a hurry to finish it, so my red down here is blend into each other. I'm just using the brush to separate it. Pour acrylic on it. When it's solidified, you can separate it easily. Okay. Just like that. Okay, and then revisit this hand, these fingers. Gingerbread house is almost done. Okay, pour some more on. Just like this. And then I'm gonna separate this one more time. And we can draw the gloves. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and go over here, and I am going to add in detail for the glove, red details. Here, right here. These are not dots, these are a little long. It looks like dot because it's short, but these are little lines, little sweater lines. And I also want to add a bunch of dots right at the glove, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't even know why I counted. Right here. So like this. It might be because I counted in my head. Oh, so cute. One right here. Oh, and let's not forget the white heart. And go across. Okay. I'm going to do the line too. Why not? So, curve and curve. That was semi-sloppy up here. Curve again, good. Okay, and then visualize it going through the glove and up right here. Curve. Curve. There. Okay, acrylic on it. I'm gonna revisit these fingers and see how it's doing. Okay, again. Okay, gingerbread house will be the one that I'm putting into the machine. Give it a nice dust with a fluffy. Hear this? Okay, now this one taken out. And let's sugar the gloves with some acrylic, just like this. Okay, leave it. Go over here. The next finger will be the heart fingers. This one. It will be into the light. Look how rich the red is. Hear this? Okay, now go over here and give this one good pour so we can dust and then design. Add in a little white heart for the gloves. This design, if I don't teach you guys, it would take me about 1 hour. So if you practice this, you can get it done in 1 hour with your client. Or if you are still fresh on your skill, it'll take you 2 hours. But this is how you work with client. It's you're doing all of it at once. You work with multiple fingers. You don't work with just one finger. You wouldn't be able to make a lot of money that way of just working with one finger at a time. Okay. Just like this. And dusting it. And then I'm checking to see any detail that need a final separation. Oh, beautiful. Zacto knife or Play-Doh knife. Separate it. See a little boo-boo right here when I actually have the red and the pink together. If I want, I can just add a little pink on there. If your client find out. Okay. And then pour on it. And of course, you need to pour on the heart again. Right now, you're pretty much done with your client. You just chit-chat with her now. You can finally respond to her many million of questions that she have for you. Why are you doing this on her nails? So now you can go back to reality. Okay, right now just pouring and waiting. Hear this? Now going back. This one. And then the gloves. Hear this? Okay, this out. So now you know the power of 3D jelly. When it comes to gel that you couldn't emboss, you can use 3D jelly to make it become embossed. And if I use art gel, then I don't have to use 3D jelly. Art gel, I can just emboss on it. But since I use one chalk liner for the background colors, I want it to be matchy. So I have to use one chalk liner for the emboss. And that is just how you do it. So if you just have my one chalk liner line, you can always use 3D jelly to turn it into embossed gel. And then this is out also. And that is just how you make this magical set come to life with appropriate timing. And don't forget to subscribe us on YouTube at 𝐻𝐻𝐻. And everything that I use today is from my store, only available at www.𝐻𝐻𝐻shop. And until next time, bye-bye.